Now imagine this. An emergency meeting begins at midnight in the White House. In the room are the president, the CIA, the Pentagon, special operations commanders, and a few extremely tired advisors. Right in the middle of all this chaos, a classified report lands on the president's desk. North Korea is secretly providing Iran with missile technology and military support from behind the scenes. A general speaks quietly. If this support continues, within a few weeks, a regional crisis could turn into a global crisis. At that moment, an idea comes to the table that changes the atmosphere in the room. Delta Force will be sent to capture Kim Jong Un. The US had already shown the world what it could do with the Maduro operation. In a single night, he had been taken from his bed at home and brought to the United States. But the real issue here is this. The target is Kim Jong Un, and this man is one of the hardest targets in the world. This is a completely different level, because North Korea is one of the most closed-off and paranoid systems in the world. And everything revolves around one name, Kim Jong Un. Even knowing where he is almost impossible. The country is closed off from the outside world. The borders are controlled. The media is in the hands of the state. The public is constantly monitored. And the military is everywhere. No one can stand against him. The entire country fears him because even the loyalty of ordinary people is tested. Let's go back to the crisis room in Washington. The president finally makes his decision. The mission will be given to a very small team. There will be no large-scale invasion. There is only one of the most elite special operations units in the world, and an almost impossible target. The Delta Force team is selected. The leader is calm and calculated, someone who has completed missions that were once considered impossible. The sniper is quiet and patient, the eye watching every detail from a distance. The cyber specialist is the brain managing the digital chaos. The explosives expert is the person who will quickly remove the obstacles in their path. The language and intelligence specialist is someone who speaks Korean and can read human behavior in the field. And there is also a medic on the team. There are only 25 of them, and step by step, that number will decrease. The preparation lasts for days. American satellites monitor unusual activity over North Korea. Analysts try to separate Kim's real schedule from the fake ones. Because in North Korea, what you see is often not the truth. A convoy may leave, but the leader might not be inside it. A building may be lit up, but the meeting might not take place there. A map is drawn, and the soldiers calculate where and how they will enter the country, and how they will get out. South Korea also gets involved. Information is collected from people who had previously managed to escape from North Korea. But the picture that emerges is still not clear. Kim's location is unknown. There are only a few strong possibilities about where he might be. The first strong possibility is a closed security facility not far from the coast, but one that looks like a government warehouse from the outside. The second possibility is an underground command center closer to the capital. The third possibility is a private zone that no one even names on the map. Washington believes one of these three locations is the real target. The other two are most likely bait. And this is what North Korea does best, showing the enemy the wrong door. Washington makes its decision. Delta Force must first approach the area, then meet with two North Korean contacts who have been bought from the inside. Toward midnight, preparations begin on the South Korean side. The operation starts at sea. The Delta Force team first waits inside a U.S. Navy mission submarine. The submarine stops at a certain point without getting too close to the North Korean coast, because going any farther would increase the risk of patrols and radar detection. From this point on, it is now the job of the 25-person team. The team transfers to two small special operations boats. They move toward the North Korean coast. At the same time, the South Korean side steps in. A small electronic disturbance is created in another part of the border. Part of North Korea's attention shifts there. This gives Delta Force only a few minutes of opportunity. The team uses this opportunity and approaches the shore. The boats do not pull all the way onto the beach. The team crosses the final distance through the water. When they reach the shore, they immediately split into two groups. One group secures the return route for the boats. The main group moves toward the contact point inside the country. The first contact point is a few kilometers inland from the coast. There, two North Koreans who had previously been bought are waiting for them. One is a former logistics officer. The other is a former soldier who knows the security checkpoints in the area. These two men provide Delta Force with a vehicle and route information to get out of the first zone. The team gets into the van, but all 25 people do not move at the same time. That would be too risky. The team splits into three. The main team heads toward the target. The second team provides support from behind. The third team keeps the escape route open. When they arrive at the first checkpoint, there are 6 soldiers in a place where there should normally be 2. An officer stops the van. One of the contact men shows the documents. The officer looks at the vehicle, and the van continues on its way. The cyber specialist opens his equipment. Satellite images, signal analyses, and information from inside are processed one by one. The building where Kim Jong Un is staying that night is identified. The location is clear, but the problem is this. When the escape routes are taken into account, the building is in a highly protected position. There are multiple routes around it, and no one knows which one Kim will use. The team leader leans over the table. The plan changes. There is no longer any need to enter the building, because sooner or later, Kim Jong Un will come out of there. And when he does, every road he can take will already have been calculated. This time, Delta Force does not go to the target. It pulls the target toward itself. Throughout the night, the team carefully positions itself along the 3 main routes Kim's convoy might use. Small explosive traps are placed on each route. These are not meant to kill, but to stop and redirect the convoy. The sniper moves to a high point, a place where he can control the area where the 3 routes intersect. In addition, rifles connected to an electronic system and capable of being triggered remotely are placed at critical points along the routes. There is no one inside them. They are completely automatic, completely remotely controlled. Their only purpose is this: to guide the convoy in a specific direction. Early in the morning, Kim Jong Un's convoy starts moving. 3 vehicles, a standard security formation, with heavily armed guards in the front vehicle. Washington follows the convoy in real time on the screens. The team leader whispers into his headset, "We're starting." The trap on the first route is activated. The road is blocked. The convoy changes direction. It enters the second route. There is an explosion there too, this time bigger. The convoy stops. Security officers get out of the vehicles and they scan the area. At that exact moment, the electronic rifles activate. Sounds are heard, but there is no one there. Security panics. Kim's vehicle is directed toward the third route, and the third route had been the real plan from the very beginning. As Kim's armored vehicle moves along that route, a large explosion occurs. The vehicle is thrown off course, but it stops. The armor holds, and Kim is alive, but the vehicle can no longer move. Security officers have rushed outside, scanning the area and searching for the threat. They cannot find anyone. At that exact moment, an ambulance arrives, fast with its lights on. The security officers stop the ambulance. The driver raises his hands and shouts in Korean, "Is anyone injured? We came to help!" The officers hesitate, because inside there really appears to be a medical team. There are uniforms, equipment, and everything looks exactly as it should. The ambulance is allowed in, and that is the moment everything changes. The back door of the ambulance opens. Delta Force members step out. Within seconds, the security officers are neutralized. The door of Kim Jong Un's vehicle is opened. Kim is inside, in shock, unable to move. The team carries him into the ambulance. The doors close. The ambulance turns back. Throughout all of this, Washington watches everything live on the screens. No one in the command center says a word, because the plan has worked exactly as intended. The ambulance leaves the area. Security units are still searching in the direction where the electronic rifles came from. The direction where, in reality, no one was there. They reach the evacuation point. Kim Jong Un is silent, his hands tied, saying nothing. 3 members of the team were injured during this process, but all of them are standing and all of them are returning. The submarine is waiting at the designated point. That night, Kim Jong Un is taken out of North Korean territory. He will never forget that night again. Of course, friends, this video is completely fictional and made for entertainment purposes. It is a what-if scenario. It is not a real military analysis or an operational suggestion. So, do you think Delta Force could really succeed in a mission like this? Write your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.